Well, good evening, guys. How you doing? I have been watching my sucky internet connection here for the past 5 minutes. It has been horrible, and now all of a sudden it seems to have corrected itself. I know this isn't me. I know it's Spectrum. I don't know what it is, but right now I appear to be moving. It appears to be working. Yes, yes. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It's me, Mitch. And yes, it's the same old Mitch that you know and love. I detected a lot of worry and anxiety among most of my community over what may have seemed some terrific uncertainty on my part, and maybe having a little hard time dealing with a few things. I assure you, I got it handled. Doesn't mean that things won't get aggravating tomorrow. I'm going to talk about that tonight. But rest assured, I'm not going anywhere. I am going to do a little cutting back, and that I think will just take whatever little pressure was bothering me off of me. For example, today I didn't post a video. I said to myself, Mitch, you're doing a live stream tonight. How much of you do these people really need? Or more importantly, do they want? I'm going to post a video tomorrow. And the beautiful thing was I was able to work on that video today without the rush and pressure of trying to film it in the morning and get it in and edited and get it posted and uploaded and get all that done with a deadline kind of mentality. And I think that's how I'm going to proceed. But I think a lot of people got the wrong idea about the video that I posted yesterday. A lot of people called it a rant. And that wasn't a rant. That was just me reasoning with myself calmly, and I think pretty eloquently. I watched it 3 or 4 times, just trying to see how everybody would have interpreted it. A lot of people thought I quit yesterday. The people who thought I quit didn't watch more than the first minute or two. And again, that's also another reality of being not only a YouTube content creator, but a YouTube consumer too. I very rarely watch any longer video all the way through to the end, and I'm a realist. And if being a realist isn't enough, I've got analytics that show me just exactly how much of these videos people who watch them actually watch out, and what percentage of the ones that started are still hanging in there at the end. And it's kind of uniform across YouTube that it's always a little depressing how many people stick through to the end. And that's okay, and I understand that. But to all of those of you who thought I quit, no, I didn't quit. I'm going to change a little bit of my work habits. That's about it, and make it a little less pressure on me. And one thing that maybe I didn't make quite clear in that video that I put out yesterday morning, I worry about things. We all do. I don't think there's one of you out there that isn't worried or concerned in some ways or many ways about our future, our lives, the future availability of food, the future maintenance of our freedoms in this country. These things are big worries, big worries. They worry me every day. And no matter how much I try to avoid it, live in a bubble, be fat and happy, you can't avoid it. Try not to watch the news, you can't avoid it. People are talking about it. You watch YouTube, every other thumbnail. And I talked about this on Saturday. Every other thumbnail is clickbait designed to panic you in one way or another, to make you worry so that you'll click and you'll find out what it is you're supposed to worry about and what crisis. But there are some major things going on right now that are mood busters for me. The YouTube stuff just adds a little layer of aggravation on top, but by no means is my biggest concern. Or quitting YouTube in no way would solve any of the things that I'm concerned about, and I think many of us are. I try not to talk about politics because, as I've said, you can't win. But it's all politics of one form or another. And as this election season draws closer and the noise gets noisier and the outrageous stuff gets more outrageous, and you hear things that you never ever thought you would hear in the United States of America, and you're a patriot, if you don't get alarmed, then there's something not working quite right. So every day I say to myself, I'm not going to let this shit bother me. I'm just going to let whatever happens, happens. And then I hear the next lunacy. And what do I want to do? I want to rant. I want to go on a rant. I want to grab a microphone and a camera. I want to shout it out. I want to just tell people how absurd this is. And please, for the love of God, you can't believe any of this stuff. Look what they're doing. Look what's happening. And yet I can't do that. In most cases, I would be preaching to the choir anyway, because those of us that have enough common sense to recognize the fraud of our dietary advice and are working to find out what the real truth is, those of us are realists. And any realist with half a brain can look out there. And I'll give you one example of this. And there's another thing that I saw today. I saw Sean Baker. Come on to talk about politics as it related to the push against red meat. He apologized for talking about politics, but he copped out. He really copped out. He came right out and said, I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for or which way my politics lean, and I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. Well, I appreciate that. It's a hard thing to do. It's a hard thing to do when you're talking to a lot of different people, a lot of people with different ideas. And again, you can't make any more friends than you already have. You can only lose some of the friends that you do. And it's a shame that we've taken everything, every conflict these days, and we've put it in the category of a war. It's a war. And the people on the other side are not just people that disagree with us. They're our enemies. And that's how one political party refers to the other. Our enemies. That's a hell of a note, isn't it? That's how the vegans view the carnivores and vice versa. Our enemy. By our actions, are we trying to kill each other? I don't think so. I think we're trying to just help ourselves, but we're perceived as enemies, and this is a war. And you can't live like that and not be stressed by it. I come at stress as a health issue. So I have to be concerned about stress because it hurts us and it negates so much of the good things that we do nutritionally with our diet. It's counterproductive for us to be stressed. And yet, how do you manage the stress these days? How do you manage, you hear something that makes your blood boil? So for me, these are the things that I'm dealing with that are causing me the stress, and they are elevating every day more and more rapidly. And the little bit of YouTube aggravation from idiots and morons who write hurtful comments is nothing, insignificant noise, but sometimes that's all it takes. That might be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I can't do anything. I can't effect or change or stop the lunacy. So what do? I do the only thing any of us can do, is try to find anything that we can change, anything that we can change and focus on to make our lives better. And unfortunately, the only thing I could come up with that I could do anything about, other than have my blood boil, was try to take away what little stress was left for me, the pressure on me doing these YouTube videos and putting up with morons. So I talked about that, but everybody may have, and it's probably my fault, gotten the impression that that's all that was wrong. And that's not even the beginning of what's wrong. And I guess the only way we're going to get through this, we're going to have to kind of put all that happiness and contentment that I want on hold a little bit and grin and bear it. Buckle down and just hope for the best. Without me telling you what we need to do, each one of us has our own opinion on what we need to do. I just hope that there are still a few patriots left in this country. This is as political as I'm going to get. I hope there are a few patriots left that still remember what it is and what it means to be an American. That understands so many of us served in the military to help protect hard-fought freedoms that we're giving up every day to a government that's just taking away and claiming more and more power over us for itself, making more and more restrictions on what we can do. And nothing brought that home. Nothing brought that home as much today to me as one particular YouTube video. At a White House press conference, an African American reporter asks this question of John, whatever her name is, the little curly haired, I won't say it. And he asks her, seriously, what is the White House going to do about the fact that Donald Trump and Elon Musk were allowed to do an interview last night? What are you going to do about that? If any American didn't fall out of their chair when they heard that, what is the administration going to do to either punish them, stop them, prosecute them, scold them, make sure they can't do that again? Two men, two great men, two important men discussing vital and important things, dared to do it without the permission of anybody in our government. Who do they think they are? And if that doesn't scare the shit out of everybody out there, you're going to be voting the wrong way. That's all I can say. My blood boiled when I saw that today. That is not America. That is not America. And now they're trying to figure out ways to arrest Elon Musk for daring to host that interview on a platform that he owns, something they couldn't shut down. They couldn't get a big enough denial of service attack going against it, the techies, to stop it completely. It limped off to a start. I listened to it. Every American should listen to it. And if you don't agree with everything that was said there, maybe you might want to reevaluate the fact of whether you are an American or not anymore. It's a problem. This is what worries me. This is what gives me anxiety. This is what hurts my efforts to be happy, content, and as healthy as I can be. And I, like most of us, have to deal with it. Okay, enough of an opening monologue for me. Do I dare even show you this? Okay, for those of you with sensibilities in the language department, I'll try to not be too obvious with this. Okay, now, all seriousness aside, good to see you all. Good to see you. The stream is working. I don't know what caused that problem. It's not me. It was something outside. It was something with Spectrum. We have 140 people here. Welcome, my friends. Like all of us, I have just made decisions, and I do it every day about how I'm going forward. And I decided that I cannot change at this age. I cannot not be who I am. I can't not rant about things that bother me. But I swear to you, and I promise that I will make sure that there is a good balance of carnivore stuff in there, because after all, that's what we do. And what I recorded today was a video in that light. Basically, it was this is Mitch, here I am, and this is what an average carnivore day looks like for me. These are the foods I eat most of the time. This is how simple it is, how easy it is to clean up. This is what I cook. This is what I had for my first meal. This is what I did to prepare for my second meal. This is pretty much what I do 5-6 days a week. And then on the other day or two, I throw in the oddball stuff. But that's it. What I eat in a day kind of video with a lot of commentary mixed in about some of the points that I think are important. I hope it gets some views. I hope people aren't just tired of watching those kind of videos, because it's a challenge. There's just so much. There's just so much. What has Anthony Chafee said today that he hasn't said yesterday? What has Ken Berry said? The new stuff that comes along, most people don't watch, and they don't understand it. You know, any new information about cholesterol and why we shouldn't be worried about it. I love talking about stuff like that. But for some reason, I don't see the view. I don't see the number of views. I don't see people jumping on those videos. They're jumping on the videos like they jumped on the video yesterday afternoon. Mitch is quitting. We need to watch this one. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the kind of video that attracts attention. I don't want to make those kind of videos. I'd rather be funny. I'd rather have you guys laughing your asses off. That video's got 8,700 views from yesterday. That's a lot of views and comments. And yes, I read all the comments. I don't have anything against reading comments. I love reading your comments. Most of them are so nice and so complimentary and helpful to me. And so many of you made suggestions, Mitch. Maybe you could do this. Maybe you could do that. I answered a lot of them. I like interacting with you guys. I don't want to turn the comments off. There were very few miserable, hurtful assholes. And even they didn't bother me. Didn't bother me. I've come to terms with that. Who cares? Who cares? I am not going to change. I'm not going to change. I figure you're here because you like me the way I am. You don't want a sanitized, cleaned up Mr. Rogers version of Mitch. You want who I am, and I'm going to be who I am. And if, like I said, if an occasional F-bomb comes out, hold your ears if you're that sensitive. I don't talk that way all the time. Sometimes certain words are required when you're trying to make a point or a joke. So tomorrow we have a video about a day in the life of Mitch the Carnivore, and that'll be released in the afternoon. I don't know what I'm going to do for Thursday, if anything, but I have a private community live stream. I know I'm going to do at least 3-4 videos a week, plus 3 live streams. And if an idea comes up or a topic becomes hot and needs some comment, I'll frame out a video on it. I have 2 things happening next Tuesday. Besides my live stream in the evening, I have, well, actually not on Tuesday, but on Sunday, I have an interview. And I'll be a live stream with somebody. I'll be publicizing that. I'm not going to talk about that now. But on Tuesday, I actually made arrangements with one of my viewers and his wife. We're going to meet at the Brazilian Steakhouse here in the mall that's close to me. And I'm going to take my camera with me, and we're going to see what a meat orgy looks like. And I'll film that. And that ought to be a lot of fun. So that's coming too. All right, let me interact with some of you guys here. It's only been 25 minutes. I haven't blown the whole stream. Let me say hi to some people. And there's a lot of them in the chat. Holy mackerel. Let me get back to the top. Get rid of my thing right there. And I'm just going to read. I'm going to read through these. Mark C. was here early. Hi, Mark. How you doing? And Nitsa Perez, Cliff Medina. Hi, Cliff. How you doing? The Furrow Grandma was here. Naruto Kun was here. These are all early birds. Boyd Lamb. United Carnivore, how are you doing? And drone shots, my buddy Jody. Hiya, Jody. How you doing? Heard from Chris Hope yesterday, Jody. Had a nice little phone conversation with him. Chris is another one of my old drone buddies, good friend. Linda G, how you doing? How you doing? CB Carmack is here. Tom from Tampa, good to see you. Chelsea Oates, how you doing, Chelsea? Richard Williams from Copper Hill, Tennessee, and Steve Studley's here. Hiya, Steve, and Coco. Howdy all. Stephen M. Hawley, hello all from New Jersey, New Jersey. I was stationed at Fort Dix, New Jersey in 1966. And had a Hispanic drill sergeant. And when we were mustering out, I was heading up to Massachusetts for AIT, for my advanced training in electronics. And they were reading the assignments from the rostrum and this Hispanic drill sergeant. A lot of people went to Fort Mammoth, New Jersey, and I can still hear him. Jones, Fort Mammoth, New Jersey. Smith, Fort Mammoth, New Jersey. And for every time I say New Jersey for the rest of my life, it comes out New Jersey. I'm sorry, but you'll hear that from me from time to time. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Who we got here? Damn it, Jim, I'm a carnivore, not a doctor. Good evening, Mitch, everyone. Oh, man. I love it. Are you somebody that we know and changed your name? That, my friend, that is absolutely fabulous. That has made my night. Damn it, Jim. I'm a carnivore, not a doctor. Perfect. Perfect. That ought to be my slogan. That's my disclaimer right there. Fabulous. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. That is Marilda Tuamala. How you doing? Good to see you. And let's see, who is this? Leslie Mayo. Hiya, Leslie. Damn it, Jim, I'm not a carnivore. Didn't tell us who he is. Gary Straub, how you doing? Hi, Mitch. It's Cheryl. You're not Gary. Cheryl from Lake Wales, Florida. Lake Wales. Lake Wales. When I was flying my model jets, we used to drive from Orlando, and we used to take our trailers out there, and we used to fly them right there at the Lake Wales airport, and in between the parachute jumpers. But go there many, many, many times. See, you said hi to you. Green Fireflies here. How you doing? Says hi, everyone. And Jerry Vodstush from Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Ellen is here. Hi, Ellen. Good evening, Mitch. And chat friends, she says. Who haven't I said hi to yet? That was early. We still haven't gotten to 8 o'clock in the chat. You guys are prolific chatters. Gotta hand it to you. Mama Cracker's here. How you doing, Mama Cracker? Good to see you. And I'm tickled to death that the internet is hanging in there. I had 5 minutes to go. I was about ready to go live, and I'm looking at this thing that's showing me like 1 bar, and I'm saying, should I reboot the router? Should I reboot the internet modem? And I said, nah. For better or worse, if they can't see me move, they can at least hear me talk. And just at 8 o'clock, the thing snapped back to full speed. I don't know. I think it's possibly weather. It's possibly some component in the pathway from Spectrum to me. Coco. Okay, I see all the same names. We have a question here. Let me take a shot at this one, and then we'll start looking for other questions and see who's in the chat. If you do have a question, 3 Qs, 3 capital Qs, and I'll be able to search them out. So this is Marilda Tuamala says, I was watching Carnivore Quest, BBBE shopping for Cassie and Chuck roast recipe update today. He said an egg contains 0.7 grams, and some brands of bacon, 3 ounces equals 3 to 4 carbs. What do you think? I think maybe some brands of bacon do contain a lot of sugar, and you can find that out. You can find that out by reading the label. Also, very important when you read the label is grams per what? Grams per how much bacon? Serving size. Grams per serving size. The Wright's bacon that I buy from Sam's is very thick. And a serving size is 1 slice. 4 slices of that bacon is a half a pound of bacon. So that's a healthy serving size. And on the label, grams of carbs per serving is 0, which means it has to be less than a half. Okay? In my mind, that's insignificant. Yes, an egg will contain less than a gram of carbs because the baby chicken needs a few carbs before they start manufacturing their own carbs. And there's carbs in red meat in the form of collagen. None of the carbs that they talk about in eggs or red meat or anything that's not sugar cured is significant. None of it will trash your diet. None of it will cause you cravings. You can't avoid it. It's not going to hurt you. But yes, we do eat a few grams of dietary carbs a day, even when we're carnivores, but it's insignificant. When it comes to cured foods like ham or bacon or processed meats, you can put as much or little sugar in them, and it depends on the manufacturer. So you just have to read the label and figure if it says 0, they're rounding down from maybe a half. If the serving size is teeny, and you're likely to eat 20 servings just to get a normal size serving for yourself, then they're playing tricks on you. They're loading it up with sugar. So that's what I would do about bacon, and I eat the Wright's bacon, and I've been eating a half a pound of it almost every day for 2 years, and it hasn't caused me a problem, and I weigh 136 pounds. I weighed 136 pounds this morning. So over the course of the last week or two with the cold and changing my eating, not eating as much food, I actually lost a couple pounds. I actually lost 4 pounds, but I put 2 of them back on. I know that I'm going to snap back to 138. That's where my body wants to be. But I'm certainly not eating enough sugar to gain weight. That's for sure. And I hope that answers your question. So let me do this. Let me jump over here to the actual chat itself. Go up here and hit my question box. Q. And the first question I have is Sammy Schufer. Doesn't look like a question. Chamber vacuum seal 3 or 4 eggs and sous vide them. he says. I don't know why that's a question. I suppose you could do that, or you could just throw them in boiling water. Depends on what kind of eggs you're going to make, I suppose. And it appears that that's the only QQQ that I find in the whole entire chat, other than the one I just answered. Keeps going back to that. Let me go way down in the chat here and see. No, it just keeps snapping back up there. So, if you have any questions for me, let me know. Oh, here's one. Marcina, Marcinha. How long it took for you to feel that the body fat and inflammation were finally diminishing, and what changes it took for you to achieve that? Wow, that is not a question that's going to just roll off my tongue. How long did it take? I honestly can't answer that question. How long it took for the inflammation to go away. I was keto for a while before I became carnivore, and that helped and kind of gave me a head start on the pain of this rheumatoid arthritis that I had. But I would have to say that if you jump into carnivore, and I don't know what shape you're in or how much weight you have to lose or how much inflammation you have, but you should, I would say in a month or two, you should notice some improvement. And as far as losing your body fat, you have to stick to it. Everybody is different. You hear stories of people that lose 200 pounds in a year. And then you hear stories of people that do it for 2 years and can't lose 20 pounds. So hard to say. And what changes it took for you to achieve that? Well, the only change I had to make was to eat the right foods, eat the right fat to protein ratio, and not eat the wrong foods. The change that we talk about, that every carnivore talks about on every carnivore video, is that you want to eat the meat, you want to have a 70% fat to protein ratio, maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower, but still maybe 70% of your calories from fat, which equates to about 50% of the weight from fat. So if you're looking at hamburger and it says 80-20, that means 80% of the calories are from fat, but basically not necessarily the weight of the fat itself. I don't know if I can do that question justice. Feral Grandma, I did pork panko on some cod loins tonight. Stuck it on with an egg dip, deep fried as if we're expecting if I were expecting Rick. It was good with little, almost no oil. Almost ramelade. Well, that's how I cook. Cod. I love to panko coat it with a little egg wash. Fry it in a quarter to a half inch of bacon grease in a frying pan till it's really golden brown and it comes out really juicy and flaky inside, and it's like fish and chips. Then you throw some pork rinds on the plate next to it, make believe they're chips, and you've got carnivore fish and chips with no carbs. Works great. Tammy Petard says, Dr. Berry says a 6-ounce cup of black coffee has 3 carbs. Well, then this has got more than that. I don't think so. Maybe he's right. I don't worry about incidental carbs in things like that. I don't worry about that triggering an addiction. It doesn't. I certainly don't worry about it affecting weight loss or enabling me to get fat, because that doesn't happen either. So I don't sweat the small stuff. Some people may react differently to it. It's individual. We all have to figure out what fits in best with our own physiology and what we can do and what we find too restrictive and unpleasant. The most important thing about this or any lifestyle is you have to live. You have to live. You have to. That's what lifestyle means. If you have to stop living, torture yourself, suffer, that's not a lifestyle. In order for a, quote, diet to be sustainable, it must become a lifestyle that you enjoy. Fortunately, I found, as so many others have, that we can adapt. We can adapt to this and enjoy it and not feel deprived. It's sufficient. It gives us everything we need. You just got to give it a chance. You got to get through that. Got to hammer down the cravings. And if you can do that, it's like a miracle. You will be satisfied with the food you're eating. I'm satisfied almost every day with 3 different foods, 3 different 1-ingredient foods, period. Eggs, bacon, and beef in either the form of a steak or ground beef. 3 foods, 5 or 6 days a week. It's always delicious. It's always satisfying. It's satiating. I always look forward to it. I love the taste of it. There's nothing else I'd rather be eating. Had you asked me whether I thought that that's something I could do like 3-4 years ago, I would have told you you were out of your mind. I would have told you you had lost it. And you'd be right. You'd be right. Mark Davis. Hey, Mark, thank you very much, my friend. How you doing? I have to ask and don't know why. Why is a long towel always on your kitchen counter? You notice things like that, do you, Mark? That towel is where I set oddball things that I've just washed and don't want to put in a dish rack. Okay? I always have a clean, brand new, and I buy those towels. They're called bar wipes. I buy them at Sam's Club. They're very cheap. They're almost throwaways, although I wash them. But I always have a clean white one on my counter. When I use my air fryer and I wash out the basket and the grill plate, I put it down on that towel to dry because I know it's a clean towel and I don't want to stack those things in the dish rack. When I wash a cutting board off in the sink, both sides, and I know the bottom might be wet, I'll set it down on that white towel and it'll dry there. My steak plate the wooden steak plate that I eat my steaks off of. I set it on that towel to dry, and that towel just stays there. And through the course of the day, if I happen to wash something that I think I don't want to stack up in a dish rack, but just lay out, that really fancy china deep dish that I have that I eat steaks in sometimes, it's part of the fine china that my mother left me. It's very ornate. It's very beautiful. It was very expensive, and it's very old. I'm not going to put that standing up in a dish rack. I'm going to wipe it and put it on that towel so it dries. So I hope that answers your question. There is a method to my madness. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mark. Greatly appreciated, my friend. Where was I? We're looking at questions. I answered that last one as best that I could. Let's see what else we got. We're back up to the chamber seal, vacuum seal eggs. How long will it take the body fat to go away? And those are the only two QQQs I think that I see. Let me keep searching. Here's one. Well, this makes sense. Eyes on Carnivore. Cool. Did you experience any vision improvements on Carnivore? Thank you. Matter of fact, I did. As a matter of fact, I did. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I have some vision problems. Or had some. The first thing I noticed is a reduction, if not a complete going away of all my little friends, my little floaters. And I've always had floaters most of my life, but I don't think it's that I don't notice them. I think they're gone. And I think a lot of other people have noticed that their eye floaters have improved. There are a couple of things that haven't corrected. One of them is my astigmatism. And if you know what that is, it's a little outer round shape of your eyeball. And I also have a prism correction problem. And that's not as common, but it's still more common than I thought. And I lived a long time having this prism problem. And what that means is one of my eyes sees just a little bit higher than the other. And uncorrected, on a bright sunny day, it's okay. And I used to fly, when I flew my model airplanes during the day, I never had the correction in the glasses, and I never noticed. Until I was at a fly-in one night, and it was right before sunset, and it was getting dark. And I'm flying a turbine-powered jet model airplane going 250 miles an hour. And I look up, and I'm flying two of them. Honest to God. I'm seeing double. I see two airplanes, one over the top of the other. And I said, what happened? I've never seen this before. Do I have eye cancer? What's going on here? I concentrated and I closed one eye and one of them went away. Changed alternate eyes, and one of them I was just seeing one higher than the other. They weren't coming together into a single image because evidently my pupils were dilated open because it was getting dark, and changed the focus or something in my eyes. And I landed, no problem. I landed two airplanes very nicely. And when I got down on the ground, I took my glasses. I don't know why I did this. I went like this. and I went like this. And I watched the two images come together and go apart. And it wasn't until I got the glasses tilted a certain way that they became a single image. And I said, oh man, there's something screwed up here, really screwed up. When I got back from that fly-in, the first thing I do is I go to my eye doctor. I said, I think there's something seriously wrong with my eyes. Strangest thing happened. I explained to her what it was, and she said, sounds like you need prism correction. I said, what the hell is prism correction? I had no idea. So she did some eye tests on me with their machine that they'd never done before to, tell me when the two things line up kind of tests. And turns out that one of my lenses has to have a slight tilt this way and the other has to have a slight tilt that way, and that brings it all together. So no matter how strong my reading correction is, I still need the prism correction in my glasses, and I need astigmatism correction. But what I've noticed is that over the past couple years, I have been needing less and less correction. My glasses were getting too strong for me. I had to get a new prescription, a weaker magnification. And I'm ready for new glasses again, which is why a lot of times you'll see me going up there to the computer screen, because my eyes are getting better. I can take my glasses off out in the sun, for example, and if it wasn't for the fact that I wasn't having the prism correction, as far as the sharpness of the letters on a billboard, I almost don't need glasses. If it gets darker, yeah, but my vision is getting better the older I get. Now, that's not the best thing that Carnivore does for your vision. The best thing that people noticed is how it helps macular degeneration. And that's where, if you're really interested in that, I would watch some of the videos about that. Lisa Wiedemann, I thought she was an ophthalmologist, but she's evidently just an optometrist, but I think she's a doctor anyway, so whatever she is, watch her videos. Oops, let me clean it up for you guys. This is a big cup of coffee. I have to measure, see how many ounces it is, but it's decaf. I brought that cup out tonight to show you that I haven't changed. I'm still irreverent, sarcastic. I'm still going to speak my mind. At any rate, hope that answers your question about the eyes. I think that the one thing they won't do to your eyes is hurt them in any way. That's for sure. And I also noticed, and you guys who watch my videos know that I'm out there getting morning sun almost every morning with no glasses on. And even though I'm not staring directly into the sun, I'm staring in the direction of the sun to get a good shot of ultraviolet light in my eyes. I think we need that. We need that as a signal for our circadian rhythms, and I just think it's healthy and it feels good. And my vision at 77 years old is great. I could take my glasses off right now and read the chat on my computer screen. Unbelievable. I can read Eyes on Carnivore's question. Did you experience any vision improvements on Carnivore? Question mark. Thank you. I can read that. That's crazy. I've been wearing reading glasses since I was in my 40s. I'm pushing 80, and I can read a computer screen even though I'm still having a little bit of double vision because of the prism thing, the letters are sharper. This is what's crazy and driving me nuts. The letters themselves that I'm seeing on my computer screen are sharper without my glasses. My glasses are actually too strong now and are blurring those letters a little bit. It's crazy. It's crazy. This thing really works. It really, really works. Anyway, thank you for the question, Eyes on Carnivore. Here's another one. Yvonne C. says, question, do you add extra butter or fats to your food? No. I don't. Maybe that makes me one of the rare, strange ones that don't add fat. I shoot for the foods that right from nature come with very close to, if not exactly, the right balance of fat. Now, eggs are perfectly balanced by weight, half and half. Bacon is pretty balanced. So my bacon and egg breakfast that I have well, I call it breakfast, but it's more like lunch, that I have every day is just about the perfect ratio, of fat to protein. And then I'll eat fatty meat like a ribeye or ground beef. And I'll sear my ribeye in butter. I don't eat butter. I only cook in butter. If I'm going to cook an omelet, for example, and I'm not going to have bacon with it, maybe I'm going to have steak and eggs. I like steak and eggs. Then I'll cook the egg in the butter. I like the flavor. But if I'm cooking bacon, then I'll cook the egg in the bacon grease left in the pan. And you'll see in that video tomorrow, and I've talked about this in some of my other cooking videos, just exactly how, by the time you get done cooking the bacon and eggs the way I do, in that 12-inch stone ceramic pan, there's nothing left to clean. Whatever bacon grease is left in there, the eggs soak up, and you just basically dust it out with a paper towel. You don't even have to wash the stupid thing. It's great. It's great. So I don't add fat. A lot of people do add fat. A lot of people like to eat leaner cuts of meat. So they'll add butter, or some people like to make bulletproof coffee with either butter or MCT oil or something, trying to micromanage the level of their ketones. And I don't do that either. I don't advocate for doing anything except eating the right foods and letting your body do what it does. And don't try to regulate things. Take as few supplements as you need, and only those supplements that you know you're not getting in your food. Maybe if you're not getting a lot of sun, you might consider vitamin D or K2. Electrolytes. Most of the food we get, the soil that the food the animals ate was raped of electrolytes, so may have to supplement that. If you're working out in the sun, sweating your ass off, yeah, you need to make sure you have enough of these electrolyte salts, and they are salts. Potassium, magnesium, sodium, some people consider calcium. Very important. One of the symptoms that's easy to tell if you're a little low on electrolytes is you get leg cramps at night. That's what happens to me. So I know that if I get a leg cramp at night, I need to up my electrolytes a little bit. And I do it most days. I skip a day sometimes, but most days I mix up my own electrolyte mix. Got a video about that. And that's me. A lot of people like to or have to add fat. A lot of people who grind things up, a lot of people who make sausage, a lot of people that grind up their own hamburger find that they want to grind up some extra fat in it, make it a little fatter. So Yvonne, I hope that answered that question for you. Wow, look at all of these chats. I have to show this on the screen. I have to scroll down here. Mark, again, thank you, my friend. Are you still getting your weekly omegas from a sardine omelet? I'm thinking I might try that. Sounds yummy. I do that, Mark, about once every 3-4 weeks, because I eat the bacon and eggs, and the beef. I about once a week I eat salmon. I eat wild caught salmon in some form. I'll either make it with an omelet, and that's loaded with omega-3s. So, but about it's yummy, but I'm not that much of a sardine fan that I do like some of these people who go on sardine fasts and all that other stuff. And I guess I'm doing okay. How do we know? How do we really know? Only we know by the way we feel. So thank you so much, Mark. I hope that answered the question. You should try it. I get at Aldi, sardines are like less than $1 a tin. It's crazy. And get them packed in water. If you're not careful, they try to pack them in seed oils, and you don't want that. So you get your anchovies or your sardines packed in water, and there's plenty of fat in them. Smush them up in there, mix them up in your egg, or just leave them whole like anchovies on a pizza, put them on top, fold the omelet over it. But try it. It's really good. You will like it. And thank you so much for the super chat. And Sherry Morgan, just got my new ceramic pan. You posted and love it. Thank you for being real and sharing your tough love advice. You're welcome. You're so welcome. And thank you for the super chat. Sherry, very, very much appreciated. That's the Mueller 12-inch. I don't know if it's still on sale or not. It was on sale a few days ago. Even when it's not on sale, it's still a pretty good deal. Let me take a look and see. It was like $25. And about 2-3 months ago, I bought 2 of them when they were on sale for $25. And let me see. It is $24.97. If you bear with me, I'll put that up on the screen for you. Let's see here. Where? That's not it. I know it's here somewhere. Well, for some reason, that window is not showing up. So I will do it this way. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yes, it's this right here. And on my website, links, here's my commercial, folks. On my website, oldguycarnivore.com. Page says links to stuff I use every day. Click on that. I have these different categories: supplements, food items, appliances, t-shirts, cameras, all kinds. And you can scroll down here, and these will take you to Amazon.com. To my affiliate account. They pay me a little bit of commission if you buy these things, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. So you would click on the Mueller 12-inch German stone, and it would come up just like that. And you don't have to do anything except just buy it. And you can see right over here where I'm circling the mouse, it says purchased 2 times. I have bought these twice. Last purchased May 31st, a couple months ago. And in the video that I made for tomorrow, you will see where I opened a new one. Opened my brand new one and threw the other one away, the old one. I used the other one for a year. They discolor, they get scratched. The bottoms get crusty a little bit. But for $25, these things are built like frying pans that you pay $100, $150 for. The ones that the big name guys like Emerald and Gordon Ramsay are selling something special. No, $25. And no chemicals in the coating, no forever chemicals. It says right, it's free of everything. It is a stone ceramic coating, and everybody, Sherry, I know you're going to love it. Everybody who uses these things just loves the hell out of them. And at $25, they're throwaways. Use them for 8 months or a year or whatever until you want a nice new white one, or they have other colors. Somebody told me they actually got the dark gray one for $20. But if you go there to the Amazon link, the different color choices will come up. They also have them in 10-inch pans as well as 12, but 12 is perfect. And if you've ever seen me cook bacon and eggs, this Mueller 12-inch pan is the greatest thing. And when you're done, you don't even have to wash it. You got to love it. You got to love it. So thank you for that. And let me go back to the chat where I was finishing up the question. You add extra butter or fats to your food? I don't, but a lot of people do. I wouldn't do it unless you were thinking for some reason you're just not getting enough fat in your food. Let me wet my whistle with some San Pellegrino, very fancy, imported Italian seltzer water. Always adds class. Always adds class. Okay, so see if I can find some more questions. Let's see here. Let me play around with this. Vision improvements, butter, fats. Okay, I'm playing round robin with the same questions, so I don't see any new ones. Let me go down in the chat here and see what people are saying. Mama Cracker says, my dogs are the only ones who eat sardines in this house once a week. And the cans are washed and thrown in the trash after. Oh, yeah. Okay, here's a question. Oh, Golf Addict is here. Spanky, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. You know, people are typing in at Old Guy Carnivore, and it's showing up red on my screen. It makes it stand out. There's another one who did that. There's another QQQ. Janice Childers question, Old Guy Carnivore, I use electrolytes every day and I upped the amount and I still get muscle spasms. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what electrolytes are you taking. Some of these prepackaged ones are kind of weak on some of their ingredients. Some of them have a very minute amount of potassium. And even though you may be taking one of their prepackaged doses, you may be getting almost next to no electrolytes. You may have to, with some of them, take 3-4 a day. Potassium is one they shy on. You'll find some of these premix have 80 milligrams of potassium when another one might have 1,000 milligrams of potassium per dose, where the minimum daily requirement is somewhere around 3,000 or 4,000 milligrams a day. So check to see how much of the actual electrolytes, the three different kinds, magnesium, sodium, and potassium, is in what you're taking. And see if the problem might not be that you're buying a certain brand. And we all know who the brands are of these prepackaged electrolytes that just don't have enough of what you really need in them. You might want to check that out. Next question. Hi, Mitch. How are you, sir? Love the shirt, says Spanky. Thank you, Spanky. Thank you, my friend. And I thought I saw, oh, that was you, Spanky, saying, how are you? Love the shirt. You said that. You repeated that twice. Okay. All right. We've had some pretty good attendance here tonight on this live stream. One of the better ones. Terrific. Terrific. Guys are making me feel like a star. Speaking of, tomorrow morning, I got yet another recall on my car. I think since I've had this car almost, it'll be 2 years in October. I think I've had 4 or 5 recalls where I had to take it in. And this one warned me that my car might burn up and I might die in a fire because somehow one of the switches on the electric seat sticks a little bit and might overheat. And it told me to not drive the car and park it until I get it fixed. Does anybody really listen to that shit? I don't know. At any rate, I got a 7:30 appointment tomorrow morning, so I'll be sitting around the Kia dealership here in Melbourne for probably an hour or two, and I think I may just take a camera with me, go for a walk, and pontificate a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see. CB says he saw 183 earlier. Yeah, I saw some outrageous number like that. That's way out of my league, so must be curiosity. People come and say, is he really going to be there? I thought he quit. I really do enjoy this too much, guys. And I think I've come up with a way to make it more manageable for me and take some of the pressure off, which is fine. I don't mind a little pressure. I've operated under pressure my entire life. Okay, you guys, Yvonne is telling somebody that she makes her own. The Element were too strong for me. See, I didn't buy the Element because I didn't think they were strong enough. So I made my own with more stuff in it, but it's very expensive. I think these, I know there's Keto Chow, there's Element, there's Dr. Berg's. And Dr. Berg's, even though I'm not a Dr. Berg fan, sorry, Eric, but has 1,000 milligrams of potassium per dose, which is so much more than many of the others did. So I don't know what the rhyme or reason is by how they figure the doses. But Tom says he used my electrolyte, made a big batch, way cheaper than Element. Oh, God, yeah. It costs next to nothing. You buy these big bags from Amazon. I have all that stuff on the links to stuff I use page. I have a video out there. Just type Old Guy Carnivore Electrolytes into the YouTube search box and you'll find it. I have 375 videos about carnivore on my channel. There's a lot of good stuff out there that nobody watches anymore. So I'm thinking about re-releasing some of those things with some updates that I did earlier on. I made what I think were some very informative and helpful videos, which are what got me here to this level in a year on YouTube and gets me, I guess, so many of the comments and thanks from people who are telling me that I'm helping them. And that's so gratifying. That is so gratifying. The Frau Grandma says she can't type tonight. Oh, Mark C. Mark C, my friend, thank you. Let me brag about what you just did here. Mark C has gifted 5 one-month memberships in my private community. Now, unfortunately, most of the people that get these things come by for the month. Very few of them ever renew, and that's okay. That's okay. But it's really nice to welcome new people, and YouTube decides from the chat who's going to get them. And tonight, ta-da, we have Susan M., Jason H., Sharon Walker, Jerry Bell, and Steve were all gifted memberships. And you now will notice that your names are going to show up green in the chat, which is what happens when you become a member of the private community. So welcome, guys. Thursday night, there'll be a live stream that you'll actually see and get a notice for. And come on in and see what it's all about. Maybe you might like it. We have a great time on Thursday night. Last week we had I think we had 8 windows gone with people coming in. We're sitting there talking to each other. We talk about everything under the sun. Sometimes even carnivore, because you can just say so much about carnivore sometimes, but we all have so much else to talk about with each other in life. We have a good time. So thank you so much, Mark. Much appreciated. And I hope we see some of the new people. Susan M says, thank you. And Susan, you got a little blue badge. And you notice when you see next to the greenies, some of them are turquoise, some of them are gold. Those are like stripes in the military. And thank you so much, Mark C. And now the Marks are speaking. Mark Davis, thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. I read a headline that said iodine is good for prostate health. Do I have anything to add to this? Is it common anymore to have car recalls on newer vehicles? It's bullshit considering the cost of the new cars. That was my rant, LOL. Well, my friend Mark, you're doing good. That's not bad. Not bad for a first shot at a rant. I'll take it. Yeah, they do have recalls, and they're usually silly little things. Some lawyer required, somebody had a little problem that the lawyers decided that they better recall it. Like I say, this recall for me tomorrow is just they're going to put a little support behind a rocker switch that moves the seat up and down or something like that and keep it from sticking, evidently. So whatever, I'll do it. I go over to the dealership. They take the car in. They got coffee there. They got a place to sit. They got internet access. I could use my cell phone. I can walk around outside, look at the new cars that I don't want to buy because the prices of them keeps just getting crazier and crazier. But it is a little something different. I can even walk about a half a mile up the road from there to Sam's Club. It's right across the street from Sam's Club, about a half mile down the road. They do that. So I may get a chance to, while I'm waiting for them to do it, to walk around in areas I don't usually walk, and I'll take my camera with me, and maybe there'll be a video come out of it. But thanks so much, Mark. Always appreciate it, man. I wish you could pick who you give the memberships to, Ellen says. I can't. I didn't even know how that worked until I finally saw that YouTube did it. Okay, we're talking about iodine, so I can answer Mark's question. I take a drop of Lugol's every day in my morning coffee. Okay, so let's see. Prostate iodine. Let's see what Dr. Google has to say. Top prostate supplements. Iodine may have several effects on prostate, including prostate cancer. Some studies have found that iodine may have anti-neoplastic effect on prostate cancer cells, including reducing cell viability and preventing oxidative stress. Other studies have found an inverse relationship between iodine intake and prostate cancer risk. An inverse relationship? However, the study found that supplementing prostate cells with iodine did not modify the prostate's physiopathology. What did they just say there? Did they say molecular iodine prevents oxidative stress and prostate hyperplasia induced by hyperandrogenism and reduces cell viability in prostate cancer lines? Protective effects of iodine on rat prostate inflammation. Does iodine affect the prostate? There is ample evidence that iodine is taken up readily by the prostate and affects overall health of the organ. In animals, 0.05% molecular iodine supplementation lessens symptoms of benign prostate hyperplasia. Okay, so according to Dr. Google, couldn't hurt, might help. What is the best supplement to shrink the prostate? Well, they always list the same things, including saw palmetto, ryegrass, beta-cytosterol, all plant shit. So I don't know. But Mark, I hope that answers your question. I think that you could look into it. Listen, there are times, sometimes you just have to ask a doctor about something. I know I hate to do that. It makes me crazy to ask a doctor anything, but sometimes they know something. They have to know something. They can't be all wrong on everything. It's bad enough that they're wrong on nutrition. So. And Ellen says you have to read the studies. And B's said good night. Lack of magnesium causes muscle cramps, says Joyce. I take 8 drops of Lugol's 2% daily. Don't know what it's doing, but I feel okay. Tammy, I think I've heard Barry recommend doses like that. I think most often he recommends 1 drop or 2. A drop of the Lugol's 2% is 1,500 micrograms, I believe. So it's not a big dose. I put 1 drop in my coffee most mornings. Sometimes I forget. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm doing it for my prostate or whatever. My prostate, even at my age, seems to be working pretty good. And I just keep doing what I'm doing. And I think I'm getting most of the nutrients I need from the foods that I eat. That's the way it's supposed to be. Cavemen didn't have Walgreens. I hope you guys are enjoying my festive shirt tonight. I have such a large assortment of these flowered tropical shirts, but they're all so big on me. I think I only have like 3 or 4 of them that are really a medium, which is what I wear now. And the other ones, the shoulders are like halfway down my arms, and I look like a little kid dressed up in his father's clothes. Terrible. Oh, Ellen, I don't know what you're unhappy with me about. Question from Golf Addict. I am on day 44 of Carnivore, and I've noticed I'm shedding skin like a snake on my arms and legs. Any thoughts? No. Other than the fact that you may be shedding your skin like a snake. Are you getting sun? Are you getting any sunburn? I don't know if you've been at it long enough, but you know, one of the things that happens to our skin once we stop eating all the plants and we start eating mostly meat, is we stop getting they call phytosterols, which is the plant's version of cholesterol. Get it? Sterol. Cholesterol is animal cholesterol, and phytosterol is plant sterols. And these sterols our body uses in building and repairing skin, the cell walls of our skin. And they're so close in molecular form that the human body will substitute plant cholesterol for human cholesterol in many places, especially in the skin cells. So instead of your skin cells having nice cellular walls made out of animal cholesterol, you're turning into a plant. Plants react differently to sunlight than animal cells do. Plants have to make energy from sunlight through photosynthesis, and it's just not the same thing, which I think, or at least this makes sense to me, accounts for the fact that as you transition over to more animal-based nutrients and your skin cells become replaced with the right kind of cholesterol and not the plant version of it, that we don't sunburn anymore. We don't sunburn anymore. And it very well may be that what's happening to you is your body, and I don't know if it's actually can happen within 44 days. That's the part that I'm not really sure of. But maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe some of that, maybe your body's trying to turn itself from a plant back into an animal again and shedding your skin. Or it could just be sunburn. See what happens. See what happens to it after you. I mean, it's not like you're like a snake. You're not just like crawling out of your old skin and leaving it behind. It's peeling off, I would imagine. But I can tell you for sure that, especially up on the top of my head where it's always right out there in the sun, that I stopped getting precancers. Used to be I go to my dermatologist every year, and the guy was always happy with the nitrogen bottle. You know, they freeze, and he would freeze. He would find 5, 6 spots on my head, and he called them like precancers. We're gonna freeze them, burn them off. I haven't had that done for not since I've been a carnivore. None of that stuff grows on me anymore. I don't get sunburn, and believe me, especially when I'm out walking around, you never see me. I don't think you guys know what I look like with a hat on. I never wear a hat outside. In fact, I don't wear sunglasses, but I did get those transition lenses the last time, and my lenses do turn dark in the sun. I'd rather they didn't, and I'm thinking when I do get my prescription redone, I'm going to go without the transitions, without the darkening lenses. I don't need sunglasses. I'm not looking anymore for ultraviolet protection for my eyes. I want to let the sun shine in. And if somebody digs up a remains of a caveman and the dude's wearing sunglasses, I'll rethink that position. But for now, I think we're kind of supposed to be out there in the sun, kind of without a lot of clothes on too, so that the sun gets to a lot of the skin on our body. I don't know that for a fact. That's just me figuring stuff out. Ellen, thank you. Ellen says, you're never unhappy with me. Well, same for you. Same for you. Guys are talking about, Tammy says, asked my last primary care provider about iodine. He said, are you trying to kill yourself? Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, they know a lot, don't they? Tom said, Dr. Bernstein, the expert, recommends much more than a few drops of iodine. I do 6 to 12 drops daily of 2%. Wow. Tom, that's a lot of iodine. What you're not turning orange or anything drastic like that, are you? Chelsea Oates says, CB, I was the opposite. As an ex-vegan fruitarian, the sun was super important to get. Tina Cox is here. Hi, Tina from California, from Clovis. Steve Studley says he uses moisturizing lotion daily. Steve, let me tell you a story. I suffered from cracked, dry heels on my feet for life, as far back as I can remember. My daily ritual every night before I went to bed. Sometimes I would have to put Vaseline and then wear white socks, so kept it in. My heels were painful. You know how they feel when they callus and they crack. Terrible. I've had that problem my entire life. I finally settled in to using a lotion on my feet. And it would make them feel good, but invariably, when I woke up in the morning, my feet were dry again. But I was afraid to not use it because I was afraid have bleeding, cracked heels on my feet. Well, I ran out of this lotion that I was using, and I didn't have a shot to go get some more. So for a couple of days, for 2 or 3 days, I stopped. I didn't use it, and I was afraid that I was going to get in trouble. But I didn't use the lotion. And after 3 days of not using the lotion, I noticed that my feet weren't nearly as dry. Weren't nearly as dry. That was a year and a half ago. I have not used a drop of lotion since on my feet. The skin on my feet is like a baby's skin. My heels are soft. All the callousing, all of the cracking has gone away. Two things. I can credit the diet, maybe, more than likely. But then I said, those bastards, they're putting shit in this lotion that makes it feel good and then dries my feet out to make sure I use more of it and buy more of it. And damn if I'm not almost convinced that that's what they're doing. So you might not need the lotion, to make a long story short, if it's not too late for that. You may not need the lotion. You might want to try without it, because I think the less of any chemical shit that we put on our bodies, the better we're going to be, especially sunscreen. They have got us so afraid of the sun. It's crazy. It's crazy. They have got us dressing up on the beach. Every square inch is covered. Big floppy hats, long sleeve shirts. God forbid, don't let the sun touch your body. Who dreams this shit up? It's crazy. And now, I'm not even sunburned, and I'm out in the sun every day. My skin is fine. My skin is fine. I think my skin, for an old fart, looks pretty young these days. I seem to think it's getting younger looking. A lot of people are using tallow as moisturizer. Animal fats. Why not? Why not? Any rate, that's Boyd Lamb's talking about babies' butts. Come on, Boyd. I don't know what you mean about that, but Boyd, no chemicals for me. Brenda says, I use almond oil on my skin, especially under my feet. They are great. Well, okay. I guess some of these essential oils are okay, but just don't eat the almonds. They're full of cyanide. Our mitochondria, says Ellen, are red light chromophores. 3 complexes are stimulated by red light, hence the AM light is so beneficial. Well, thank you, Dr. Ellen. That's very good. Tom also says, all life on this planet needs sun energy. Yes, the sun is the source of all energy on this planet, of all life. Yes, of course we need it. Saturated fat seals the skin. I've been making beef tallow skin cream. Ricky Lee says, you've got mail. So Ricky Lee sent me some mail. Oh, okay, Ricky. Ricky Lee sent me some mail. He says, Iodine, check it out, Mitch. Ordered by Lugol's. along with a bunch of others. Well, thank you, my friend. I am watching your live stream right now. I wanted to share this video because one of the chatters said that she puts 8 drops in her coffee, which is what I've been doing according to this doctor in this documentary. Well, not really a documentary interview with the doctor, but I wanted to send it to you. Check it out. I will. I'll take a look at it. Thank you, Ricky. Isn't technology amazing? Ricky tells me in the chat that I've got email, and there it is on a different device. Yes, we are definitely one with our technology. Oh, man. Thank you, Ricky, for that. I'll check it out. I will check it out. So you guys are talking about tallow being a great moisturizer. Treat yourself, golf addict. You deserve it, says Ellen. I'm a mitochondriac. Why, thank you, Ellen. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And Sherry, how you doing, Sherry? Thank you. The best lotion for everywhere here is fat from roasted bone marrow. It's magical, she says. Cool. I never thought of that, but yes, that would probably be a very pure and healthy fat. Roasted bone marrow. Gonna put a little garlic in that, you'll smell great too. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you so much. I never thought of that. I don't ever eat bone marrow. I need to. I keep threatening to make bone broth one of these days. I got the Instant Pot now. I certainly have the tools. I just need the bones. And I should be able to, I guess even if you have to buy them, you just get these big bones, get the butcher to cut them up into, so the marrow's exposed, make your bone broth. You can use any kind of bones in bone broth, and God knows there's got to be a million recipes for it out there. So I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to do it because I think the world needs yet another bone broth recipe YouTube video. So why not? Why not? Haven't ate almonds since going carnivore, says Brenda Paris. Yes, almonds. Oh, God, almonds. They used to build them as raw almonds, especially. They used to build them as a super food, along with spinach and kale and dark chocolate. Superfoods. Juice them. Make smoothies out of them. They're all poisonous chemicals. Almonds are not only high in oxalates, but they're high in cyanide, which is one of the tests to see if someone has cyanide poisoning. If their breath smells like almonds, that tells you that they have been poisoned with cyanide. It's been said that if you go to Sam's Club and you buy one of those big bags of raw almonds, and for some strange reason you sat down in front of the television and just started eating them mindlessly, then it would take about a half a bag to kill you. That's scary. Or make you very sick. They're loaded with cyanide. The pits of some fruits are deadly poisonous. The plants don't want animals eating those things. Those are their seeds. They want them to be crapped out by the animal and planted somewhere. And the poison is released when they're crushed. So I'm a firm believer in plants are trying to kill you. Not consciously, but they need to survive too. And they can't survive if they're being eaten up all the time. So the ones with the defense chemicals that make the animals sick are the ones that don't get eaten and live to see another day. Sherry. Bone marrow has stem cells that are rated number 2 to embryo. I get them at Sprouts. It's on my channel how I use them. That's great advice. Great advice. And your channel name is Sherry Morgan, I imagine. So get them at Sprouts. Do I have I guess Sprouts is a health food store or something like that, or a grocery store. I never heard of it. I don't know if I have any here, but that's interesting. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. That's another subject that I keep wanting to do a little more looking into, is all this stem cell stuff. And, you know, anybody who watches Bart K gets an earful of that. And I'm not in a position to say whether it's a miracle stuff or not. And I wouldn't dare criticize it without knowing anything about it. But I have heard from a number of viewers over time in the chat who have taken the Cerule, C-E-R-U-L-E, the Cerule products that Bart promotes, and have claimed wonderful things, stem cell stuff. So need to probably look into that too. So much stuff to look into, so little time. Peter, Papa Carnivore, says, I bought the splatter guard and the cutting board plate and use them every day. Thanks, Mitch. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I like that splatter guard, man, especially when I'm cooking, pan frying some of that high-fat hamburger. Man, it keeps a lot of that stuff in the pan, and it fits right on that Mueller 12-inch pan. So cooking is so easy, and you watch my video tomorrow, and you'll see just exactly how little it took today for me to prepare, eat my meals, and clean up from them. Almost no time whatsoever. It was crazy easy to be a carnivore once you get adapted to it and don't miss having to have hundreds of different kinds of foods. Be a member of the empty refrigerator club, like so many of us are. Bart Simpson, do you give yourself haircuts at home? Yeah, I do. I do. I mean, I feel like I'd be getting ripped off with this hairline of mine back here. Because they don't give you a discount. They don't give you a discount. They charge you just as much. Takes them 2 minutes, and usually don't even pull out a scissors. They just take a shears, put a certain fence on it, and zzz. So I said, why do I need them? So what I do is I got myself a professional kind of wall shears, and it comes with all the different fences. And I use one for my beard, which I do every Tuesday before this live stream. So when you watch me on Tuesday on this live stream, you'll see me very neatly trimmed in my beard and mustache. And then I have a fence that's a little bit deeper. And I just stand on it. I throw a bath towel on the floor of the bathroom, and I stand on it, and I just shave my head with the little thicker fence, and then I take the smaller one that I use in my beard, and I kind of do around the edges. And that's it. Save myself $20 friggin'. I don't even need a mirror to do it anymore. I can grab back there and tell if I got it all or not. And the only interesting part of doing it with the shears is you've all seen my scar here, and that my skull kind of is little bendy. Hang on a second here. In case you guys, I've never showed any of you carnivore guys this picture yet. And if you're a little squeamish, if you're a little squeamish, then avert your eyes from the screen. But for those who, when I talk about my brain surgery 3 years ago, I just want you to know that this is what I'm talking about. And that's, my friends, what they did to my head. And that was with the staples still in it there. That's what they did. That whole piece of bone right there is what they removed. That whole side all the way. They cut this big flap down and they sawed the bone out in order to remove that blood clot from my head. And this is what I've got from it today. You can see right there. So it healed up pretty good, but unfortunately when the skull bone joined, it got some little bit of ripples in it. And it's the strangest thing when I use that shears and run it over that hills and valleys of my bumpy head. But that was, needless to say, an adventure. Do I have another picture of that? Yeah, I do. I have a side view of it here. Look at that. Isn't that something? Hard to believe. Hard to believe. Anyway, hope that didn't upset you too much. Holy shit, Mitch, says Tammy. Ouch, says, oh, yeah. I don't know why I haven't shown that picture to you guys. You know, you've heard me talk about my little adventure in the hospital with the brain surgery because of the subdural hematoma, but that picture kind of hammers it home, doesn't it? Kind of adds the holy shit, you're right, the holy shit factor to... I have another gruesome picture that one of these days I'll bring out when I had the melanoma removed from my nose and they had to cut just about all the skin off my nose and cut a piece of skin off my shoulder and graft it on there. So my nose this is what I'm touching right here is actually used to be on my shoulder. So it's amazing. It's amazing what we do to our bodies. Isn't it? It's absolutely amazing what damage and I've had my share. Broken wrists, bad knees. People say, hey, Mitch, I notice a little limp sometimes when you're walking. And I laugh. I go, a little limp? Let me tell you about some of the times I busted myself up. It's amazing that it's not all that pronounced, but it's unconscious sometimes. Sherry says, I'm a gladiator. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, it's just life. And compared to what some people I know have gone through physically with 4-way and 5-way heart bypasses and some serious hacking and cutting. I've gotten off easy. in my life. I've gotten off easy. Well, listen, my friends, it's been great visiting with you tonight. And thanks so much for your support. Thanks so much for all, and I mean all, because I read the comments, all the well wishes and the appreciation. It means a lot. It means a lot. Whatever few little glitches I've got with dealing with stuff, it's not just YouTube. There's other stuff in this world and in my life that has to be dealt with. More important than car recalls, too. But I'm here, not going anywhere. Love seeing you guys. Watch out for that video from me tomorrow. Let me bring a little travel and music in. I love that. And everybody's saying goodnight already, and it's almost 10 o'clock, so it is definitely time. Where did that 2 hours go? Great attendance tonight. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much for sticking with me and coming to visit. I'll see you Thursday night in the private community, Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock for my European version of for my friends in Europe over there on Saturday afternoon. But everybody's welcome, of course. So can't think of anything else other than to give you the rest of the day off and eat meat.